the APC has a fundamental problem of big manism. They lack empathy, and that came out very clearly during EndSARS. They concocted violence and executed violence. If you have to intimidate, wound, hurt, dehumanize people to get into office, you never came into the race for the people. There's a lot of gaslighting that's happened in this government, a lot of propaganda, a lot of lies and deception, that if they use that energy to work on the problems that we have as Lagosians, Nigerians, we'll be in a much better place.
Welcome, guys, to yet another great episode of Paul's Hot Takes. You guys already know my name. My name is Nancy Chikudebe, and I have my gang here with me. I have a beautiful Sarah over there. Hi, love.
Hi, guys.
And him.
D1 is here.
All right, so guys, on this topic today, like on the conversation for the podcast today, we're talking about Lagos. We live in Lagos, you live in Lagos, and there are a lot of things that are happening in Lagos. So let's all be real today, because that's what we're doing. We're being real. And because of that, we brought a very special guest into the studio today. You guys know him very well. He gave them a run for their money. He made their seats hot. He made them feel like, damn, you have not been sitting on a hot seat before. I have lit fire under your seat. It's boiling. Like, you know, when they say sun is shining and they say, please, who opened the gates of hell? That's the fire they were feeling. He delivered a whole Lagos state to, you know where he delivered it to? Guess. But ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about Gbadebo Rhodes-Vivour. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
All right. Thank you so much. So let's go right into it. We're talking about Lagos.
Yeah.
The last time everybody came out with their voter's card to vote, did you vote? Sarah, did you vote?
Which of the last time are you talking about now?
The last election now, 2023.
You see the problem. There was one recently for local government chairman.
Exactly.
But we're
Literally
talking about
2 weeks ago.
We're talking about governorship election.
If we don't pay attention to this little one, how?
Okay, did you come out to vote for the local
We
government?
are making the same point. We are making the same points, girl.
All right, no, that's
Did you come out?
Did you come out
I did.
for
Who did you
the
vote
local
for?
government
one
and
very
also?
beautiful lady, you know that.
You don't
Who
know her
did you
name.
vote
I
for?
just looked that fine.
Yeah. These are the issues.
These issues we're talking
Did you
about.
vote? Did you vote for the local government chairman elections?
Yes.
Who did you vote
My
for?
party now.
Okay. What's the name of the person?
Labour Party.
What's the name of the person?
Labour Party.
So for you, is it like a Labour Party? Like when you go out to vote, now speaking as a Lagosian, not even from a politician angle now, when you go out to vote, do you vote just off of who is in your party? Or do you vote based off of what they've promised that they're
Credentials.
going to do?
Okay, so the first elections I participated in, like when I'd come to the knowledge of politics and the understanding of it, was I believe it was the 2015 elections. And that was all completely based on the dynamics in the state and the country at the time and what the politicians were saying they would do. When you become a party member and a stakeholder at a very high level, your role is to ensure that the best of the best emerge as the flag bearer. So
Yeah.
you should be proud to vote for that person.
Okay.
You know, so ideally when there are primaries and things like that, you put your support behind the person you believe in. And when it's now time to vote during elections, you should be proud of that person and vote for the person.
Okay. Totally
but,
get you.
But right now, which one are you doing? You're just voting for your party.
What, for 2027?
This one that just happened, this one now.
I know I'm a stakeholder. I'd vote for my party.
Okay, fair. But for 2027,
I'll vote for my party as well.
and what party would that be?
The coalition that the coalition decides.
Oh wow!
Let's
So
talk
you're
about that coalition.
are you moving from? Are you leaving Labour?
We are part of the coalition.
Wow.
Okay.
So
Part
what
of
is it
coalition.
about the coalition? Because I have seen people's opinions, which I'm not gonna lie, there's a part of me too who feels like,
Let me hear these opinions.
yes, that feels like it's still the same. Aside the young people like you, the fresh ones, we're still seeing some faces that have moved from other parties, and
Same
why
people.
why are you now the saints that we're supposed to look at with this coalition? What is it about this coalition that will make somebody like me interested in taking them seriously? Not you now,
Not you.
No,
but
no,
we
no.
mean
I
those
understand.
guys.
It's a very, very valid question. But I feel that the frame that you're looking at it is sort of distorted in the sense. There's this idea that we are looking for angels to lead us.
Hmm.
And there's a generation that's come with that idea, and it's actually very responsible for the obedient movement, which is a positive thing because you see, politics and the thinking behind it's like a pendulum. It swings, and the point comes where people want that ultra pure, ultra clean, because they've dealt with shit, for lack of a better word, for too long,
Yeah.
and nothing works, and they just feel that they need a very righteous person that's going to come, that has a clean record that we can believe in. And that is what inspired so much faith in His Excellency Peter Obi in the 2023 elections.
Yeah.
Now, there are not that many Peter Obis. Right?
What do you mean?
There are not that many. He got the followership. He has the followership that he has because he's extremely unique. In the sense that you have a person that has shown by his track record that he will save the country's money, the state's money. He's not trying to steal it. He's not trying to appropriate it. He's not someone of excess that is getting maximum houses, and he's taking the house on Bodilon for himself, the equivalent of that in Anambra, or the house on Bodilon and Queens for himself as well, that used to belong to the state. And I can just continue listing, and you know I'm not talking about Anambra right now, right?
Yes.
So I can keep listing that, but that's not what he's done.
Yeah.
He's very true to himself, and people see that. And in a place where you have leaders that have appropriated to themselves this status of being king, that it doesn't matter what the people are dealing with, but we are going to live large, and we are going to go abroad to get healthcare, and we are going to buy the private jets, and we are going to live in these mansions, regardless of the fact that we are now the poverty capital of the world. Now, that difference that he has shown himself to be is what gave him this followership that he has, especially among young people. And you know, with us as a generation, my generation and even generations below me, we live in a digital generation, which is a generation that has a lot of footprint and data and receipts. You know, generations above us, a person could forge his certificate, forge his name, forge that he went to this school or that school, and they could get away with it.
But we have people who are part of this coalition who supported past
100%.
leaders leaders with this
people.
same
El Rufai
mess.
is one of the people.
Yes.
Right? There are a number
So
of
why
them.
should we take them seriously now?
The fact of the matter is a person can sit down. See, Bola Ahmed Tinubu was one of the main reasons why we had the Buhari. Right?
Him amongst others.
Him amongst others, but he's a major reason for the formation. I mean, he was a national leader of the APC. That's the president. And currently he's the president. Right? There are people that will see what this man is doing is wrong. And even though I was part of the people that brought him in here, I'm going to work against it now. Right? And there's a value in that, as opposed to just going with the flow and seeing some other person will decide that, you know, I'm going to go with the flow. It doesn't matter the effect on the masses, but I'm going to see what I can get for myself. I'm going to be happy in this situation. There's that. But if we are looking for a party where everybody is going to be that paragon of purity, of righteousness, of all of those things, and you want to win an election in a place like this, then we are dreaming. So the idea now is that there is an awakening that has happened with people. There are the people that want to do things right. We need to make sure that all the forces come behind those people to be able to do things right. There are some people that are going to need to do dirty work. And you need them on your team as well. If they're not your team and they are working against you, the whole of Nigeria can vote for you. They will announce the result at 3 a.m. when all of you are asleep.
So would you say that that's part of what happened with you and Peter Obi in the last
Certainly,
elections?
100%. 100%. You know, I was thinking about this thing this morning, And I was saying, you can always tell the people that love a country or love something. When you think about that story of King Solomon, where the two men came and claimed that
Yeah.
the child was their own,
Mhm.
you had a group of people that planned violence against the people they want to govern. You know, when they postponed the elections,
Yeah.
especially the governorship elections, people went to sit down not to really think about what are we doing that's so wrong that turned all these people against us. No. Instead, it was about how can we organize violence to intimidate and suppress these people that we want to govern. Right?
Yeah.
Now, and it just says a lot about why you are running. If you have to intimidate, wound, hurt, dehumanize people to get into office, you never came into the race for the people. You came to the race for yourself.
So,
Right?
okay.
This is
So-
really my
so-
fear.
So I have a question for you. I hear when Peter B came out, there was track records of what he has done in Anambra, saving the state's money. But the question I have is, do you think right now Nigeria as a whole, right, needs us saving money, or we should be looking at what we can invest to bring money in?
Yes. Now, we need both. We need both in the sense that with the amount of money that has been borrowed by this government and the government that preceded it, and the state of affairs of Nigeria and the level of poverty is not matching. People have, and His Excellency Peter B have been saying this, people are borrowing money for consumption, not production. You need to borrow money to put into things that will produce. So in 10 years down the line, you will not be in a place where you need to borrow some more money or borrow more money. But you have a situation where you don't have a productive economy. People are borrowing based on futures, crude oil futures. So now people are raising money based on, okay, in 10 years' time, we're producing crude, so we're going to borrow money based on that. So you now have a situation where NNPC at a point was saying that they don't even have crude oil to sell to Dangote's refinery because a lot of it has already been sold off future-wise, right? To pay off debt because they borrowed against that. And now have a situation where there's a productive refinery that needs crude, that's creating employment for Nigerians and can potentially reduce the cost of everything, cost of transportation, cost of fuel, which will bring down food
Cost of
inflation
living.
and so many things, cost of living. And all of a sudden, NNPC is saying that they possibly don't have crude because they've already sold it off in terms of futures. So this is where these things come in. We need a person that's a shrewd manager of resources. We need a person that is going to apply those resources in most efficient way for maximum output. And that's not something that we currently have with the last two administrations. I mean, look at the size of their delegations when they were going for the copper event, and then ask, what is the impact that Nigeria has? Or what are the real tangible things that they've done to actually even address those concerns in terms of copper, that you have to have that kind of huge delegation? And they would have continued that way if not for the pushback that they received from the opposition.
Yeah.
That to them is normal.
Yeah.
Now, you compare that to the Excellency Peter Obi, who is trying to minimize cost. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I've been on flights with him, and he's flying economy. It's not pretend, right? And the fact of the matter is, we're a poor country.
Yes,
We
very
are.
far.
We're
Nigeria is
very
a poor country.
Nigeria is a
Very
poor
poor.
country.
That has a lot of resources, but
that
we're
has
poor.
a lot of resources, is very badly managed, but the amount of people that cannot eat every day in this country is significant. And also, it's even worse now because of the insecurity in the hinterlands and the farms. Because before, there's urban poor and there's rural poor.
Yeah.
So in the rural area, you might be poor materially in terms of money,
Yeah.
but you have a farm
Yeah.
and you are producing your own food, so you're not dealing with food inflation or high food costs. You will eat.
True.
Bad as bad, you are going to eat.
Yeah.
You have a shelter over your head. You will do the things that you require to live. Now, the rural poor cannot even afford to feed anymore because they have been chased off their farms by terrorists and all of those kind of things. So that has been, that the state that we are in has been worsening significantly.
And we had a government that was pardoning these people. But
Yeah.
let's bring it to Lagos,
Lagos.
now.
All right.
No, wait, sorry. Before you bring it to Lagos, right? A lot of people love Peter. I think the love for Peter Obi started from when he decided to leave PDP, right? So it felt to a lot of people that like I say, this guy want stand out. He doesn't want to associate himself with this set of people that have been, bringing the country
Down.
exactly down. So, but after the support, right, from Labour and the obedience movement and everything, he now still went back to these same people, right? So, it now looks like, okay, and to be honest, coming from a lot of people think that Peter Obi is actually looking desperate. And the reason I'm saying this is because, you talked about the economy, that you guys have been on the economy together, but we've also seen videos of him coming down from private jets. But he talks about the economy, he doesn't talk about the private jet. That's fine. Recently, this one I even bust everybody head. Like
The serving
of jollof rice. We have never seen him serve jollof rice before in the history of this country. And then we are seeing him
But it
serve
wasn't
jollof rice.
just him.
And then he's saying things that, it wasn't just him. But I'm talking about him because he's a major,
Yeah.
and then the fact that he's now saying that, he just needs 4 years. Why? Why do you need just 4 years? Like, he's giving desperate vibe, associating with the same people that he has criticized and they have criticized him. That's number one. Serving jollof rice, which was the latest one that we just, this one, then talking about the 4 years, what do you have to say about all of that?
That's a very, very, very fantastic questions, and I'm very glad I have the opportunity to clear some of that. Peter does not own a jet, not because he can't afford one, but doesn't believe he needs to own a jet. The success and the wealth that he has, he can have 2 jets. That's Baba Ahmed has 2 jets. When we move in a jet convoy. If you see him come out from a jet, it's probably that's his jet or someone sent a jet for him. And I don't think that takes away from anything. He will tell you that if he's traveling, his own principle is if I travel more than 6 hours, I go business. Right? And that's fine. I think that people are just not used to seeing a person with that level of wealth operate and manage resources and hate waste as much as he does. And that is a personal thing. That is an Obi thing. When the lights are off, if you are not in politics, you are not in government, that is him. That is him as a human being. And it just so happens that that is what Nigeria needs now because of the wasteful years, the termite locust years that we've had as a people. If we're a people that have had shrewd managers for a very long time, people will be like, I beg. I want a president that's going to spend small. Let him go and show off small. I want to see a presidential convoy. How far? You understand? But that's not the reality that we have. That's the first thing. The church situation. This man has been doing this thing for years. It just so happens. Yes, it's a thing in the Catholic Church where on a particular day, the wealthy in that communion, in that community, serve the others. So the people that they look up to on that particular day, they are the ones that serve. So there were senators there as well that did the same thing. But unfortunately, you see, propaganda kicks in and tries to make it seem like, in him serving rice, he's trying to do. But and he came out and actually talked about it. And most Catholics know that this is what happens, right? And unfortunately, you see, I want to look for a nice way of saying this.
Don't sugarcoat it.
We need as a people to start to come out of our own squares. Too many of us, we don't take time to learn about others. You're a Pentecostal, you've not really taken time to understand the Catholic Church. You're a Catholic person, you've not really taken time to, because
everybody living in their bubble.
Yeah, in their bubbles. Thank you. That's a better description. Because if you've done that, you'll be able to see through a lot of this propaganda. The other thing you talked about, so you talk about desperation. There's this idea that someone is desperate. If this man is not moving the way he's moving, they'll say he's not serious. He's moving the way he's moving, they say he's desperate. There's always going to be a description. The point of the matter is this, any serious politician today knows the force that Bola Ahmed Tinubu is.
Yes.
You must always recognize and respect your opponent. If not, you're lying to yourself.
True.
So you know the work you need to put in. So give the man credit where it's due. He's a strategist. 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 100% 1 I wish his strategy was for the betterment of Nigeria, but as a politician, he's a very strong, solid strategist. He's mastered the art of state capture, of capturing institutions. You see the way Lagos State has been completely captured, from traditional institutions to local government institutions to political institutions, and he's not been governor for so many years.
Even private institutions.
Private institutions, he's held it down. He's the master of the art of that. So any serious politician knows that they need to get on their job. They need to stand on business. They need to get into it. Sure. And their work rate must be very high. And that also comes with the realization that if I cannot do something by myself, I need to work with a team to achieve this thing. You cannot do it by yourself. I remember when I spoke with the Consul General of this America, I believe. It's America or England, I'm not sure. After the elections. And he recognized, he said, we've put out a report saying that there was a lot of violence in the state government elections. INEC failed woefully in delivering the mandate that they were supposed to, and all of that. But after acknowledging that, the opposition did not help themselves. He said the opposition did not help themselves. If the opposition united, this story would be a very different story.
True.
That why we criticize INEC and everything. Also, let us look at all the governors that wanted to go to the Senate that lost their elections. Let us look at the fact that if you add His Excellency Atiku Abubakar's votes and His Excellency Peter Obi's votes, they completely take out His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu's votes. Completely. So while you complain and everything, the opposition too should be able to realize that there's a reality check that they need to understand. And good politics is about consensus and bridge building and managing interest. Good politics is not about, I'm going to stand by myself, I'm going to do it by myself and succeed. We need to define the interest that we are pushing. And the wonderful thing about His Excellency Peter Obi's run now, it has redefined politics in Nigeria. In the sense that now we know that if a person is a man of integrity, there are people that like that. If a man comes to talk about his ideas and his vision and shows that he understands data and comparative advantage between other countries and Nigeria, and it shows that deep understanding, people like that as well. If you have a antecedent list that goes back to show that you are who you say you are, people like that as well. So now it's no more the story of, I'm a big man, I have money, I can tell jokes, and I have my boys, my gangsters, my thugs that can scatter places, so I'm a powerful politician. He has started to redefine the paradigm of what it means to be a politician. And that puts him on a table with a lot of strength to also be able to shape the vision for any coalition that's going to move forward.
So it looks now that the coalition is standing on the integrity of Peter Obi. So this is a direct question for you. What if Peter Obi decides to pull out of this coalition? With everything that you said, would you still be a part of it? Because I can't bank on the integrity of any of those other men.
And who else will you be voting for if Peter Obi wasn't?
Yeah, so would you still be a part of it?
That's a fantastic question. God damn it. If I knew you guys were going to be asking this kind of question, I would have come for your show. You're putting me on the spot. Okay, but I mean, these are conversations that must be had. They're conversations that must be had. Again, I started this conversation by saying that His Excellency Peter Obi is extremely peculiar. And you're right, and you're fair to make a statement about the integrity, the value that he brings to that coalition in that sense. I don't see him pulling out. We've had several conversations. I don't see him pulling out. My focus is on making sure that the coalition produces a ticket that Nigerians can be proud of. I know I've answered that question as a politician. But man, it's too early to answer that question. It's too early to answer that question as a Nigerian. It's too early.
So what if Peter Obi wasn't
part
going
of the
to
coalition. Would you?
contest,
Yeah.
and it's part of the coalition. Who
Then
else
the
do you
focus,
think?
then the focus would just be on me. I'm also contesting, right?
I like that.
I'm building my integrity. I have integrity. I'm building that track record, building my base in community, and just be focused on me.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, we're talking about presidency now.
Yeah, you can talk about it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I like that you brought us back to Lagos because
You
it's
know,
really about you and
yeah.
Lagos. So let's
But I
let's
think
talk
I've
about Lagos.
avoided
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
As
I'll
a
tell you.
politician that he is.
Wait. You know, to be fair, I hate when
People use that word.
politicians do this thing that I'm doing.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I think the reason why you're doing it is because you maybe don't see anybody that credible in the coalition.
You have literally put a hole in front of me that you want me to
Yeah.
walk into with my
Because-
eyes open.
Because if you look at it, really,
and I'm not going to
It's-
do that.
it's-
I'm not
and-
going to do
and
that.
you now understand where I was coming from.
100%. So this is the thing, and I say this to everybody I'm talking to now. We feel very strongly about His Excellency Peter Obi as a man of integrity and all of these things. But let us also understand that Nigeria is a very divided place right now. All of us here are Southerners. There's no Northerner on this chair. We are not. What are the voices of the Northerners saying about what they're experiencing? We are looking at Peter Obi, and these are all the values that we are. The word is not projecting, that we see in him and we value.
Yeah.
What are the Northern youth saying about the Northerners that are protesting? Remember when we're doing EndSARS?
Yes.
Do you remember there was protests about keep EndSARS in the North?
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was befielding. I was like,
Oh yes.
how?
That's perspective.
And then
thing
somebody
we're talking
explained
about.
that the EndSARS there are the ones helping to fight the whole terrorist thing and
Over
everything. They are
there.
making them feel safe.
Yeah.
To there, they are making them feel safe. Here,
Yeah.
we are feeling like terrorists. But the problem now that we have is that those numbers were so close. His Excellency Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi. So close. So the love that this man has, Peter Obi, this other man has that amount of love too.
Yeah.
So while we might criticize and say all of these things, I was in Adamawa when they were banning Atiku to Waziri. He's invested in aluminium, yogurt, like he's creating jobs, he's doing
Over
things
there.
over there. So there are people that clearly love him,
Yeah.
right? Now, the question now is, okay, what is the good politic? Right? Because it's politics, you see, just the fact that one is in politics just changes you as a human being in the sense that you have to be all things to all men. You
Yeah.
have to balance several interests.
True.
Right? Interests that you will never deal with if you're just a regular person.
True.
You are sitting down with people that you will never hang out with
Yeah.
if you are not in politics.
Yeah.
Right? Because the man that is an alcoholic, that is beating up, just imagine the worst kind of person.
Yeah.
If that person has a vote, you want his vote.
True.
You understand what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want it. Politics is +1.
True.
Right? You want his vote. So you are going to speak to this group and talk about their interests. You're going to go to this group and talk about their interests. There are some people that you don't even want to deal with, but you know
You have
that,
to.
I mean, and I'm going to bring this in. Before the camera started rolling, we're talking about Ambody.
Yes, we were.
And you talked about how there was dirt all over the floor
Immediately
when
he came
Ambody
in.
was.
Governor.
But the only reason why that happened was Ambody tried to reform the waste management system. Visionscape was the new branding that he put out,
Yeah.
and they were about to create a system where waste was converted to wealth, and it was even going to be quoted on the stock market.
So that was why the whole roads were dirty.
What happened was that all the stakeholders in the old establishment sent their boys out to sabotage that. So all the waste things, they were throwing it down. They were throwing it down. It was a direct result of him trying to change and make a transformation. But he did not have the structure, all the thugs, all
Or
the
the
boys
backing.
on his side. The people that he was trying to replace, they had those people and they sent them out to do what
So
they
you're
did.
saying the dirt on the road that made me dislike Ambody till today was as a result of
Sabotage.
sabotage.
It was sabotage. It was sabotage. That's why I said when you said, I said that's a very interesting take, because when you just go and look into it, you see it was directly tied to Visionscape that I tried to bring in, which is also tied to how they took him out, right? Just do your research. Just ask around.
Honestly, if
Who
you,
is
if
confirming?
you really go and do your research, after Raji Fashola, I felt like Ambode didn't do much until I had the opportunity to be in a room where I was seeing actual facts of the type of person Ambode.
Ambode
really
was the
is.
first governor that I knew that there was a fire somewhere and there was a fire truck there in 15, 20 minutes. Ambode was the first governor that I knew that there was a response team for like an emergency. Your car broke down on the road. They'll come to your car for free.
Oh wow.
For free. I
Wow.
know someone that happened to.
Wow.
Now, I'm not here campaigning for him. The point of the matter
Is he contested? It's not.
he might.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know. But the point that I'm trying to make here is that no matter what your vision is, right? No matter how much you want good for the people,
Yeah.
if you leave the bad elements to just be floating without taking them into consideration, it will.
But is there a
Sabotage
structure
you.
for you guys, for you, the good guys, who have to unfortunately deal with this, for lack of better words, messy people? Is there a
Yeah.
structure for you guys to make sure that they don't dampen the good work that you've put in? Because let's remember what happened in 2015. The APC came in like saviors. They
Yes.
came in like they were ready to help Nigeria move
Yes.
forward. And we saw what happened. This is not to say that there might not be some good people in the APC, but I'm saying with you guys now, like I said, I don't trust any of these men. So is
Yeah.
there anything that you people have put in place
When you
to
mean you
make
don't
sure?
trust any, including Peter Obi?
No, I've mentioned that aside Peter Obi,
Why?
we're mentioning names of people who put Buhari in power, who benefited off of that government.
Yeah.
So I don't trust any of these people. But is there anything that you guys are actively doing to make sure that the selfish interest of these people that we have seen for the past 10 to 20 years doesn't come in place to destroy the hard work that you've put in, including your name? Because your name is unfortunately being attached to these other names.
That's a very fantastic question. I think that by virtue of the show of strength, you see, politics is a reflection of people that take it seriously, right?
Yeah.
Politics in general, even up to, I was even going to say governance, is a reflection of people that take it seriously. And the wonderful thing that we successfully achieved in 2023 was showing how many young people take this politics seriously.
True.
And everything that you're saying right now is the reflection of a lot of people that normally will not come out to vote,
True.
normally will not participate, but now their voices matter.
Yeah.
Because on any table, they are talking about obedience. They're talking
Yeah.
about people that, and this obedience, Peter Obi is the manifestation of a bigger idea and a bigger desire that stemmed from, I would say, the EndSARS was the seed that grew
That was the
the
trigger.
tree,
Mhm.
right? But it's about young people just wanting a better country, wanting better, holding leaders to a higher standard,
Yeah.
wanting more, wanting better, wanting quality. Now, by virtue of that thing that's been done, we have empowered the politician to be on that table and to be able to make these demands that you're talking about, building structures, have a say in the structure of the party,
Yeah.
right? Now we have done that. And I think in continuing voicing our opinions, in continuing to participate, to engage, that seat is going to even be more relevant in terms of that seat on the table. Because normally, people that have these ideas, people that mean well for Nigeria, they don't participate, they don't vote, they don't come out, and it's just people that vote based on their tummy, based on
Yep.
who gives them 3,000 naira.
Yeah.
So imagine in that period, you now have somebody come and sit on a table and be talking about good governance.
Yeah.
And then all the other people on that table are thinking about the millions they spent on elections to
Yeah.
get there.
Mhm.
You know, once you've bought a person over, you cannot respect that person.
True.
Mhm.
You can't. You've bought them. They've
You
benefited.
own them.
Now you own them. Now it's for you to go in and maximize. And it's like business,
Yeah.
True.
buying and selling.
Selling.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
But when nobody will see the obedient movement and think this was bought.
Yeah.
These were young people that came out and were, printing their cards, printing their t-shirts, campaigning. The day I knew that something was about to change was October 1st. That rally when I went out. Because I went to Amuodofe, I went to Lekki, I went to Ikeja, and I saw people coming to me, and I saw the purity, the joy, the hope It was not bought.
We are
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
You know, it was not bought. So
Yes,
not
we're
somebody
tired
gave
of
them money.
suffering.
You know, you see
I get
those,
what you
you-
mean. I
you
get
see
what
those
you
campaigns
mean.
where
Yeah.
when the camera just comes in, they're
You say,
looking like you.
Yeah.
These people were. I knew that
There
something
were no
had
fake
changed.
priests.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's bring it back to Lagos, and I'll refer to an incident which happened of recent, where the UCOPA came out and called out the president, saying that Lagos is smelling. I have my opinion about it, but you're running for elections come 2027
By God's grace.
by the grace of God. What is not in place that you are going to do to ensure that Lagos, according to them, is not smelling?
What is according to them? Lagos is not smelling.
So no, Lagos is not. But the reason why I'm saying I have my opinion is we can all point.
Let us hear your
figures.
opinion.
Yeah, we can all point our figures at the government, but then we have people who are driving you through debt outside. You don't pay for lawman at all. So how do you think the debts are going to end up? No, Sarah,
All this
it's the
one
truth.
you're
Let's
saying
talk.
is Lagos is smelling, Lagos is
No, no, no.
wait.
It's the
She's brought
truth
up a good
because
point.
no,
So-
it's the truth.
Okay.
Most Nigerians do not care about some certain things except it drops 2K. There are places where you can dispose your waste rightfully. I've seen videos of where they are arresting people disposing their debts in the wrong places, and that's what is going to go and fill our canals. And when rain floods this, our gutters are not working. So before we say the government is not doing, as
We also have our
Lagosians,
responsibility.
what are we doing concerning
Okay,
it?
so let's talk about that. A government that is coming into office to solve problems would understand the problems. Nobody wakes up and just gets high of throwing their waste on the street. If people can genuinely not afford to pay for this lawman thing, what do you do to create value in that waste that can allow that thing to be self-sustaining and to pay itself? You see, there's this idea of this government that's constantly looking at the people as the problem, right? They constantly looking at the people as the problem. But if you are a business and your business is this lawma waste management, these people that are not paying, is there any value in their waste? Now, okay, I'm going to dispose of your waste freely, but you must separate it from the source. You're not going to pay me. Separate your waste from the source. I'm going to give you a special bag that decomposes by itself, made out of substrate of cassava, and organic waste is going in there. All your plastic waste must go here. It is now illegal for you to dispose of your waste in any other way apart from me.
I hear
And
you.
now your waste in that community is paying for itself. Is that possible? Is it possible that our waste collection system the cost is further reduced by making sure they're powered by CNG? These are the conversations that should be had. Not just people are bad, people adapt. Those same people that are disposing their waste on the street, put them in London. Are they going to cross the road and dispose
True.
their waste on the street? Do you understand what I'm saying?
I understand, but
No, I
sometimes we
know.
Nigerians are very stubborn.
We Nigerians are also some of the most brilliant human beings in this world.
Totally. I
We
agree.
Nigerians are some of the cleanest, nicest human beings in this world. But the problem that we have is we adapt too quickly.
That's true.
We adapt. We are long suffering and we adapt. There are people that waste trucks don't come to their place for 3 weeks. So are they supposed to live with that waste and that stench around them for 3 weeks? Are they pigs?
Wait, waste management, do they still exist? Those trucks? Do they
Yeah,
still
the
exist?
trucks
Yes, now,
exist.
Loma, they do.
Loma
They don't come.
exists.
They don't come to
So
my
Loma
side, though.
will only come to places at the moment frequently where they're getting paid, because for them it's a business. And there's nothing wrong with establishing a business, but you must step out of just that comfort zone of profit and loss. This is also supposed to be a service to the people of Lagos. And all fingers are not equal.
True.
The people that are living in extreme poverty in Lagos State, you cannot now constantly deride them and say, oh, they're not from Lagos, or oh, they're not living in places that, no. How can we maximize on all these problems and make them, and make them solutions? What solutions can come out of these problems that we have? That is kind of governance thinking that I expect, right? So we talk about canals. You give an example. Yes, the waste blocks the canals and all of that. At the same time, our canals covered. Why is it that water can just flow? Why do we not have semi-meshes in between to prevent waste from moving in.
Yeah.
Right? If waste is coming from here, why does it have to go and destroy the whole canal system? Why
Yeah.
can't we have stop gaps that stop it? Right? So we look at the problem and we must come with a holistic, creative solution. And that's what I've been talking about for a long time. We talk about flooding. Meanwhile, there's some filling Lagos State recklessly. Right? And then the pathway for water to leave the city is blocked. The normal sinkholes that take up all the water from rain is now sandfilled. So of course things are going to flood. Look at before the campaigns. If you go and look at the campaign video, I said it. They are sandfilling Makoko right now.
Yeah.
Then
that's one of the
tomorrow,
regions, that's true.
Yaba, Lagos mainland is going to be flooded. They will say, "Oh,
are not taking care of our
global
drainages."
warming, climate change, blah blah." But this is a problem. You look at the situation, how they built the architecture of that place on stilts,
Yeah.
right? It is an adaptation for that place.
Place.
If you are going to design something, why don't you take from that?
Like,
And
I think there's a country that is built on water.
Venice,
Yes.
Amsterdam,
Venice is built on water.
all of that. Look at that typology and create something in that state so that water continues to flow. Think. There's hardly any thinking being done.
Why is our water smelling, especially on the island?
In Lekki, for instance, you have a situation where we are all living on sandfield land. So all this was lagoon before. And based on that, water is not going through all the rock and formations and sand and that entire structure to purify the water. Because unfortunately, most of us are providing water for ourselves, which should not be the case. The state government should be treating water at a large scale level to make sure that water is clean and is supplying you water. So your water is not going to be smelly if the state government was doing that at that large level. The situation where we have in places like Lekki, every house has its own little water treatment center that has its own little 4 tubes, and you're using your calcium and all your things, and you're doing your best to get it clean. But that is not the level that water should be purified at.
Yeah.
For places like Lekki, for places that are sandfield, we should have a water works that's doing this at a significant scale and is benefiting from economies of scale as well. So it turns out to be cheaper for the majority of the residents. And it's very sad because when you think about all the people in government today, when they're growing up, they open tap and water will come out.
You even drink directly
True.
from
And
it.
It was working.
I went to
Drink directly
ISL
from it.
International School, Lagos. I have this clear memory. Just one GSS2, we play football after school.
Yep.
We go to the tap. We wash our legs and we drink water.
Yes.
We drink water from the tap. Now, I'm not sure what has happened because there was a time where
If you
the
try
water,
it,
Yeah. I know it. Well,
If you
I,
try
So,
it.
however, I've heard you saying about the government thing, but the metal mesh you mentioned, do you know that here in Lagos, at night where we sleep, there are people who go and take that in and sell? How do you
100%.
how do you want to
again,
treat
you
that?
you work again. These are all factors and variables in this equation. You work it in. You work it in. If there's a camera, let me give you an example. There's a camera in my house. My wife went to find a special camera that you can talk through the camera to people.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not just seeing. You can literally shout and the person will
Sing,
hear you.
yeah.
This is not ultra expensive, but it's a solution to a challenge.
True.
These are challenges. Why do we not have a surveillance system in Lagos State? With the level of people in this place, the
Don't you
amount
think
of
they will
people-
steal it and sell it?
Am
in
I
the
not going to
places
see? Am I
that-
not going to see the person that's
Stealing
doing
it before you go steal
See,
and
you see. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you guys something. You see the London that we are seeing today. It was not always like that, too.
Yeah.
We've heard stories of
London was not always the way it is today, where there is no fence, where there is no burglary proof. London was a crime scene at a point.
Yeah.
People were getting prostitutes. They were not even going to rooms. They were having sex on the road. You understand? It was filth. And systemically, leadership changed it. Now you're in London, you feel safe. You don't feel safe because of gates
Yeah.
or fences
Yeah.
or burglary proof. You feel safe because there's surveillance, there is justice, there is law. The policemen are paid very well. You know that they will not be bribed. You know that justice will come and justice will come quickly. If you do something somewhere, you know that somehow, some way, even if you he threw stone at the camera or he wore a hood, they will track you
Yeah.
all the way from
Yeah.
when you came out. So they know that somebody is watching.
True.
And you're not just watching, there's consequence to that action.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's where safety comes from. Right?
True.
So I understand when you look at the problems as everything is today. And yes, there will be hiccups.
True.
Yes, people will try to spoil it. But the important thing is to consolidate that system and you know where you're trying to go.
Yeah.
Because what is going to happen is social engineering. Because I say to you again, no Lagosian, no Nigerian is going to London and going to go and steal the CCTV camera.
You know
That's
there will be
all over the place.
consequence. Yes.
They're not going up to go and climb it and sell it. That's what we are saying that people will
Yeah.
do. They're not going to do it. Why? Why are they not doing it? If we are just animals that just behave, why is it that when we go there, we are not doing that? Right? So it's about creating a holistic system that ties into itself and also not leaving the bad elements out of it.
Yeah.
Let everybody be involved. And I tell people this thing, even this thing we're calling bad elements. Every time I campaign, and the area boys in an area, everything, especially when it's not a campaign where I'm moving to, where I'm sitting and walking, talking to people, I always make it a point to go and talk to them.
Yeah.
And humanize them. Because there's a dehumanization that happens when the area boys. We just look at them as people that don't really have a life outside of that thing. But nobody wakes up to say their dream life is to just go and stand on the street. And I always say it. I meet people that graduated from university and something happened along the line of life and they just found themselves on the street.
Yeah.
And they have adapted and this is the only way that they're able to eat.
Yes,
Yeah.
I know
A
people
whole
like
bunch
that.
of people.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it's not their choice. Some of these people are parents. They want to be better for their children, but they don't know how. You know, in this country, there's no social welfare net. There's no safety net.
Yeah.
It just takes for a father to die, for a mother not to be able to do anything. The landlord has kicked you out
Just
of the
one small
house.
thing.
Small thing, you're on the street.
I swear.
And at that point, you now have to adapt. You go and apply for jobs. You cannot get job.
'Cause
You're
you
not
don't know
getting on
anybody.
jobs because you don't know anybody, or you're just not. I don't know. You say your village people are following you or whatever. But the point is, things are just negative, and you don't know it. You just 1 year on the road,
True.
and then you adapt. You know. So I'm sorry. So point I'm trying to make is, you have to, if you want to create a system, a community system of surveillance and security, go and talk to those boys as well. How do you bring them in? How do you formalize whatever they are doing? How do you pay them to be part of that system and actually add value to it? Right? And that's how you clean it. You look at the CIA, the FBI, when they find criminals, they bring them in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Become
help us
their
start to look for,
informants.
Yeah.
help us start to find other criminals, and they are officially absorbed into the agency.
And unfortunately, this thing also happens in our real life situation because there are societies that are heavily, what's it called? What's the word now? Is it influxed with these guys?
Yes.
You cannot come from nowhere and steal there.
Exactly.
Those Gbadebo boys will beat up that thief.
Yes.
I have seen it happen so many times. So if we're doing it in our own little ways, why can't the state government take advantage
Take
of
it.
it?
Exactly. You're going to say something. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to. You mentioned something that people get. One of your issues is people is that they get used to the problem. They start complaining, then they now get used to it at some point.
Yes.
And it just reminded me of EndSARS. Right? It was a major trigger
Yes.
for a lot of people. In fact, people did not realize that they needed a change, especially in governorship, until that EndSARS thing happened. And they're like, come on, if nobody can, take responsibility of this thing, then we're not safe,
Exactly.
And of course, the question is, who do you think is responsible for EndSARS? Considering the fact that, of course, the governor is supposed to be the chief security officer, and he doesn't also control the armed forces.
That's what the armed forces said. The armed forces said that everything they did it under instruction, and he did. I mean, you did not see the reports that he put out there. I think everybody, all of the people in APC Lagos, at least at the top level, that were consulting the governor, even with the president, they are all complicit in some way, shape, or form. There's no army man that just came to Tollgate and just started shooting because he just wants to shoot people.
Do you think people lost their lives?
Of course, people lost their lives. I have no
Because
doubt
the
about
narrative
it.
was that nobody actually died.
No, that's rubbish.
That was the
rubbish.
report that we got.
That's
But
rubbish.
do you think the order came from the Lagos state government? Because I believe that when it comes to the armed forces, it comes from a federal level. But there was this perception that it came from Lagos, and I don't know if they have that kind of power to order like armies.
I think there were several conversations that were ongoing. I also feel that even the idea of a presidential interest at the time and Lagos being seen as, trying to, like, some people believed or were, when it got to a point, they were afraid that this was the beginning of a coup.
Yeah.
That this was the beginning of a
It was
takeover.
bigger. Yeah.
Of a takeover in government.
Yeah.
And if we let this continue, the government will be toppled.
Yeah.
So there was also the interest of Abuja talking to the interest of Lagos, and the interest of Lagos looking like, me too, I want to be in Abuja at some point. So all of that came into play. Unfortunately, again, it's also about the value of Nigerian life and how government sees Nigerian life and how they interacted with it. And a lot of things, agitations and missteps that they took. One misstep was the fact that they brought buses full of thugs to come and attack protesters. That was a big misstep because they believed that those thugs will come and they will show their machetes and people will run away. Unfortunately, that did not work.
Yeah.
It only emboldened more people. They got better organized and they got bigger. Right? But you look at other states. Why did this not happen in Ibadan? What did Sheyi Makinde do that was so different? That people saw him and they came behind him. Even the EndSARS protesters saw Sheyi Makinde as a leader.
Yeah.
There was no violence reported because he came out and identified with the pain that they were feeling.
True.
He did not organize his state bosses to bring state-sponsored thugs to come and intimidate people. Do you understand? So there were a lot of steps and missteps that happened that then led to this conflagration. And then they now turn it around to now come and say that, EndSARS people went to burn down Lagos, burn the buses and everything. They forget that there came a unification of people that we call thugs, people that we call agberos, people that we call all the classes. The rich, their children were there. The poor, their children were there. People were there.
Yeah.
And you come and shoot bullets at people. So maybe the rich kid, the parent called you, come home, that one went home. This other one that his friend, he saw his friend die there.
Yeah.
That's an agbero. Took out that anger in a different way.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Took out that anger in a different way. It was definitely not the kids that were cleaning up after themselves and bringing small chops for people and doing carnival that went about burning buildings.
Yeah.
Very
But
true.
but they want to turn it and twist it. But you see, you cannot do that. There's a lot of gaslighting that's happened in this government, a lot of propaganda, a lot of lies and deception, that if they use that energy to work on the problems that we have as Lagosians, Nigerians,
True.
we'll be in a much better place.
And EndSARS didn't need to get that. We didn't need to get to that
No, it
level.
did not.
If only
Yeah.
they listened to the cry of people.
Yes.
It started years before,
Exactly.
calling out the evil that those men were doing on
Exactly.
the road. We can't even have you here and not talk about the rent issue in Lagos. Dimon
Yeah.
and I were literally speaking about this before you came in, about
Yeah.
how to get a good apartment, a mini flat in Bagada in an estate would cost you nothing less than 2.5 million naira.
Yeah.
And we have already established on this show today that we provide our electricity for ourselves, we provide our water for ourselves, provide basic things that the government is supposed to give us for ourselves. Yet they're expecting us who are earning less than 500k, which the money we're earning today, the quality of that money is not the same thing it was 3 years ago or
100%.
5 years ago.
Yeah.
And then the government still expects us to cough out 2.5 million naira, 3 million naira, 5 million naira just to get a 2-bed apartment or a mini flat apartment. What are the plans that you have in place to combat issues like this when you come into power?
So the rent issue is a very important one. It's also the housing issue. So there are two things. One, you want to manage the housing stock you currently have, so that people have more accessibility to it. The conversation about monthly payments. If you can show that you actually earn a salary, a fund that can be put in place so that you can pay monthly, and guarantees are given by an association or an institution in the government to allow for that to happen. Because for some people, it's not so much that it's 2.5 million, it's that you have to pay it all at once. Outside the country, you're paying rent every month. As you're earning, you're paying.
Yeah.
Right? So also to bring that time value back to
Sorry
your money.
to cut
Go
you
ahead.
with this whole paying monthly thing.
Mhm.
We live in Lagos
I don't
where
agree with it.
thank you because
Okay.
I
same here.
don't.
We live in Lagos where your landlord can wake up one morning and maybe because his child is about to go abroad to study, he remembers that he has 10 tenants in this apartment, and if he does the calculation, people's money can fund his child's whatever.
Mhm.
And in your rent might be due in 2 months. This one is not them. I've seen it happen so many times. Your rent is due in 2 months, and then the landlord is coming with a
You're
bill
increasing
saying
your
that
rent.
it's almost 100% increase. So if we do this monthly thing, what is going to be put in place to
Yeah,
make sure
so-
that they don't wake up one morning and
Again,
decide to increase the rent
Yes,
after
100%.
3
So,
months?
so what I'm trying to describe is a holistic plan. It's not just one thing. It's the same thing you're talking about. There has to be a understanding, a document, a policy that says that a certain percentage of rent cannot be increased after a certain amount of time or until a certain amount of time. And these are things that stakeholders need to come together and all agree to, right? You also want to now look at increasing the housing stock, right? Affordable housing, real affordable housing. And then also increasing that housing stock with the prototype for young people.
Yeah.
Our population is over 60% youth population.
Yeah.
There's no reason why a young man that just left finishing NYSC needs a 2-bedroom apartment. I know that we are used to living in large spaces, but let's look at typologies in Japan, for instance. You have a space where you can sleep, you work,
Yeah.
right? And you have easy access to where you work, and that's all you need, right?
It's
Sometimes-
more than this, so
No, I know, but this, I'm trying to bring out other ideas in all of this, because you want to increase your housing stock, create affordable housing that's accessible to people through
Yeah.
lotteries,
Yeah.
right? So it's not a situation where it's who knows who that gets it. Like, look
Mhm.
at what Alhaji Lateef Jakonde was able to achieve.
True.
He built a lot of housing that actually got people that needed it. But I'm also looking at what we currently have and maximizing on that. If we have a situation where people can pay monthly and landlords cannot increase their rent for at least 2-3 years after they've signed that contract with this person,
Yeah.
I think that is a plus.
Yes, it's a plus.
I think it's a plus.
However,
But
I
however,
think
I
this,
like that you're on
there-
the
there's
however
no
with
there's
me.
no this is not going to be one silver bullet that's going to solve all these problems. This is going to be a series of things that are brought into the system. 2 weeks ago, I was at a symposium about how we can convert all the abandoned properties in Lagos State to affordable housing. The properties that also belong to government that have been left for 15 years.
Wow.
Look at the secretariat in Ikoyi.
Mm.
That can house over. There's some proposals in that symposium that created about 400 to 500 units in
Wow.
that place.
Wow.
Right? Why not? These are things that we can also look at because the structures are already there.
True.
You want to try and spend minimum amount as you can, but to create affordable living units for people in a beautiful, creative way. And there are so many of these properties that can be looked at in Lagos State. So it's about increasing the housing stock with not tying it to a huge amount of funds.
Yeah.
What are the low hanging fruits that you can do? And so those are some of the things. Another thing that must be done is a regulation of all the charges that are associated with
Thank
rent.
you.
That's
Right?
it.
It's
That's
extremely,
where.
extremely important because you have somebody that wants to rent a 1-bedroom in Amuodofin, and the room or the space comes to about 600,000,
Yeah.
and then the charges, legal, all this, it comes to 400,000. That is
That
madness.
aside, some of these landlords expect you to now pay a service charge of about 100 or 150,000 naira in addition to that 600,000 every year. Does it not happen with you?
My dear, funny enough, my rent, I start at Gbagada. Where I moved in, my rent is 1.3. Service charge was 100. My rent is supposed to be due by January. December, there's a meeting that we're increasing service charge.
So the
Service charge now.
okay,
Yes.
service charge, because
Imagine.
I know
And the reason why they increased the service charge was because the developer said he's trying to ensure he understands what is happening, and he's trying to ensure that they don't increase rent, because the actual people who lease their houses want to increase the rents.
yes, but there's also a time. There's a 6 months legal notice you must give
Yeah.
to people before you can even have the conversation about increasing rent. You must 6 months. You must let the person know. But even if that doesn't really that's courtesy and allows you to plan, but it doesn't really touch the problem, which is they're increasing rent, and how am I going to afford to be able to do it? So again, it goes back to the idea that landlords cannot just increase rents haphazardly or willy-nilly. It must be, like I just said, 6 months, you must give notice.
Yeah.
But also there must be a process by which, once this has been signed. Now, when we talk about these other charges, what's the
Service charge.
Service charge.
And the service charge is not as if you're living in a service apartment. Service charge
So
is
they're not providing generator.
They're not
If
providing.
there's no lights, you're turning your generator on yourself.
Okay, so now
Just Loma and security bill.
Loma has increased their charges.
Yes, I know.
Loma has increased their charges. I'm sure most employers of labor would say that they've also increased the salaries that they pay people.
But
Thank God you said most. Let's
Most.
say
But the
Most
thing is,
people
even
should.
if they
Most.
increase your salary now by 100%, your lifestyle is still not improving.
Yes, I
Like,
agree.
you're still basically having to manage.
I
The truth
agree.
is, if you're earning 500k living in Lagos, you are not living good.
You are
So
not
if
Yes.
you realize that
You're
if
outside
you
Lagos.
earn 6 million naira in Nigeria, you're part of the 1%.
6 million per month,
No, per year.
per year.
You're
Yes.
part
Part
of
of
the
the
1%.
1%.
Part of the 1%.
6 million. Let's do the calculation. How much
That's
are you
why-
earning
That's
monthly?
it, 500,000 a
500.
month times 12 is 6 million.
So
Yeah.
you're
You're
saying
part of the 1% in Nigeria.
it's only 1%
that means I'm
earning
part
that
of-
much.
Yeah.
Say it, then you're part of the 1%.
No, I've always been part of the 1%. I was going
You should do. No,
I'm
just research what I'm saying.
I will.
Fair.
I absolutely
Well,
will.
look, the percentage of people that earn over
Five.
1 million in a year.
Yeah.
Go and look at the percent. That's why I say Nigeria is poor.
We're suffering.
We're poor.
Yeah.
Right? So
Sorry to cut you,
Okay.
D1. Still on this whole rent issue now. Two
But this is a
things.
serious problem.
Yes,
For
now
me,
because
it's a very, very
everybody's-
big issue.
everybody's
Because
suffering it.
now you have a huge youth population
Yes,
that
now.
are coming out of their father's house.
Yeah.
You see, before all their 5 kids.
But I also
Five
feel,
of them are under one man and are in
Yeah.
a house. Now, those 5, each of them have to have their own house.
I also
To
feel
start life.
I also
start
feel
life.
that I also feel that people should also live according to what they earn.
According
And
to
I'm-
this,
and
this
I'm
is where I'm
saying this
heading. This
because-
is where I'm heading now
Okay.
with this thing
Diwo,
that
you
you're saying.
cannot.
You know why I'm saying this, sir?
You
know what I'm
can't.
saying? Mad, you know why I'm saying this? I once in this Lagos, right? I lived in Mushin with somebody, with a friend of mine. Do you get what
That
I'm saying?
mushi you're talking about, try go rent apartments now.
Now.
No,
Self-con.
I did not rent an apartment. Well, it was a room and a parlor. Do you
Self-con.
understand?
Go
It
try
was
rent
not-
no
self-con.
parlor.
It was not. In fact, if I told you that I lived in this place, you will not believe.
D1.
Do you
D1,
get?
try
And
it
at some
now.
point, wait, and at some point, right? I now moved. When I got married, I moved to
D1,
Fagba.
let me say the point I'm trying to make.
Wait,
so that you-
I moved to Fagba,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And at that time, right, when I went for Big Brother, I came back. People were expecting me to come to the island, but I look calm. Do you get? I stayed in Fagba. I wasn't paying up to 1 million
Go rent
for a
house for Fagba
3-bedroom. I'm coming over. No, now I know they stay for rented apartment again.
No.
I'm saying
Because
you
I was
go and
able
check
to-
how much it is. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but he will have solutions to it.
So I
Because
was
an
gonna-
architect, right? You're an architect.
I was going to
Yeah.
say something now on this rent issue, especially on this. Both of you have mentioned about living according to your means. Do you know that a self-con apartment in Yaba, which is supposed to be a student area, goes for nothing? I know
The
someone.
lease is 800k.
Thank you very much.
That's
The lease
it.
is
800K.
800,000 naira. I know somebody paying 1.2 million naira in a self-con.
I'm coming.
A self-con is just a small room
Mm,
Do you get
with toilet and bedroom in one enclosed place together
Yeah.
and a small kitchen.
yeah.
Over
So
a
the
million
list is
naira.
800.
800,000 divided by 12 is 67.
And
Let's say
that
67K.
800k is all those fola going towards Shomolu. We're talking Yaba itself.
So that's no.
are
The
paying
one that's
1.2,
66,000 you're talking about, right?
Per month.
Per month. Let's say the person is earning 100k. How much are you going to be removing from your rent every month?
And
your
Aside your
transport,
maintenance.
and
If you are earning
transport as
100,000,
well.
Yes.
you should not be staying in Yaba. Go to Mushin. Mushin is close to Yaba.
Okay,
It's just keke.
mentioning all this motion and the rest you're talking about. This is Lagos, where there is traffic, where transport fares increased.
They are working on the
places
island.
that used to pay 100 naira keke to now. This one is not them. Say I'm telling you my real life experience.
Yeah.
Places that I used to pay 100 naira
It's
keke
300.
to, it's 300 naira now.
They are
So the
ways-
farther you live
yeah.
from these places, the
You
more
pay more
expensive
on
it is.
I want to
transportation.
come in here. You see, you guys have just shown the adaptability of Nigerians. You should not be dealing with these problems in the first place. And that's what I need to remind you of. You look at I'm not sure if you follow the New York elections, Mandami. His whole thing is about affordable housing and freezing rent prices. His whole thing is about saying to landlords and the government, we are freezing rent prices so that New York can be more affordable for all the young people here. These are the conversations. It should not be that, I have to go and squeeze myself into the smallest space in Yaba or in Mushin or in this. No. Our fathers, when they came out of school, they had easy access to house. They had easy access to cars. Life was good.
You can't even buy a car now. You have to speak in
These
tongues
people
first.
that are in office that are controlling things now,
Yeah.
they live better lives. So why can they not give us similar quality of life, or at least try to give us similar quality of life? And for me, it goes back to this whole idea of better accommodation provision that is easily accessible and affordable for people. So affordable houses are actually genuinely affordable. And this, for me, it will mainly be done on places that are not sandfield. There's a lot of ideas about property that's coming on places that are sandfield, so the prices are already very high.
aka Eco Atlantic.
Exactly. So people will not be able to afford it. But then when you are building, we have to open up places like Ikorodu, we have to open up Jeremy, we have to open up places like that, and then also attract jobs there. Attract companies there. Because what you really need is a Lagos where every local government is self-sustaining.
Thank you.
Right? So you don't have to be, the good hospital is there. Good hospital, good schools are there. You have employment anchors in those places. So all your movement is just
Around
in that
there.
place. So you're cutting your transport cost, right? And your feeding cost also is reduced because also everything is sustainable there. And it just creates a better quality of life, right? And even more so in a time where so many people can work remotely as well. These are all things that should be put into it. There should be a situation where landlords are saying, government is giving rebates on the fact that a company is creating a system where people are working 3 days in, 2 days out. They're incentivized to do that because on the long run, you're reducing
transportation
you're
costs.
reducing transportation costs, you're reducing traffic, you're improving the quality of life of people, and there's a cost associated with that.
True.
I have two questions, right? And number one, you criticize Sanwo-Olu a lot, right?
I criticize the government. I don't criticize him personally.
Yeah, okay, it's government. So is it that it's government, they've not done anything good in the last few years? That's number one.
Is this 7 or 6 years?
Yeah,
6 years.
Let's just wrap. Yeah.
I want you to tell me things they've done good. Let's start from there.
No, now you are the ask.
No, that's what I'm asking you.
Answer.
We are both living in Lagos, and you have told us about your movement from Mushin to
Me
Pagba.
personally,
You know Lagos
me
well, so
personally,
tell us.
right? Personally, right? I don't know, man. I feel like Sanwo-Olu might have done better. You get, but that me I have personal.
Say your opinion. That's what we're asking you.
So I feel like he did not perform up to expectation. For me, that's my own personal view.
Okay, so he gave you
But-
expectations.
Well, it's not like he gave me expectations. I always felt like I like the fact that APC seems to have structure and
Structure of what?
I mean, look at what Fashola did, the work Fashola did, the work Ambode did. He also spoke about a few of them, and then I expected Sanwo-Olu to do something, remarkable. Maybe the rail line,
The blue line.
the blue line, rather.
After 16 years.
Well, at least he did it during his time. But
Okay.
yeah, so I want to ask you.
Okay, let me.
Okay, you want to answer that one
Let
before
me
you
answer.
the second
Let me
one? Okay.
answer.
You did scratch head.
No, the second one,
No.
but is good. Answer the first one
Let
first.
me answer. Where do I start? First of all, I think that anybody that's produced as a governor from the APC, unfortunately, will be extremely underwhelming. Why? Because the APC in Lagos State is a special purpose vehicle for the enrichment of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, his family, his cronies, and his associates.
That's what you think?
That's what I know. Now, I know this because for any project of impact, you must find traces of their interest carried along financially. Whether it's the coastal road where the same company that's doing it, his son is a shareholder or on the board of it, or you see the BRT lane, the
Whose
boss.
son?
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Sheyi Tinubu is on the board of the company that is doing the coastal road. I mean, this is public knowledge. It's not like hidden information. And we could go on and on. You see, the reason why Alhaji Lateef Jakonde was able to achieve what he did in 4.5 years was that he deliberately kept his business away from government. So it was about the person that had the highest capacity, that had the most merit, that had the most capacity. Those were the people doing jobs. And the jobs were focused on maximizing good quality of life for the people of Lagos. And that was why he was able to achieve so much in such a short time. But if I have to constantly look for a way that I can maximize my own interest on a project that's supposed to be for the public good, things will operate very slowly. And what you get are token projects. Token projects just to show that government is working. Right? But then when you look at the price and the value that you got these projects for, you find that you probably could have gotten 2 or 3 bridges. A flyover, you got one, you could have gotten 3 for the price. Right? You look at the blue line that you're talking about. Go and look at how much they're charging, how much they say it costs per kilometer, and compare it to India or compare it to Ethiopia or compare it even to Kenya. It is like times 10 the price. Times 10. They did 16 kilometers of tram. It's not high speed rail. 16 kilometers in 16 years.
Have you entered it before?
No. But I hope people that
I've entered it though.
tell me about it.
The experience wasn't bad in all.
No, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it's an addition to Lagos State. But what I'm saying is we could have had more for the money. We didn't get a good deal.
Yeah.
If you buy a Mercedes, the Mercedes is nice, but if you bought that Mercedes for the price of 4 Mercedes, you didn't get a good deal. But when you sit in Mercedes, it's nice, but you could have gotten 4,
Yeah.
or you could have gotten G-Wagon, right? The point is your money is not being used properly, right? And also, how many people can afford to use that blue line? Like I look at it when it's going, majority of the time it's empty.
The blue
There's
line.
also
The
that.
blue line.
The blue line.
No.
There
It
is also
depends.
that.
So
It will
the
depend
ones
on the
come-
time of the day.
Yeah, it depends on time of the day
Yes.
and where it's coming from. So I know the one that comes from Mautu to CMS,
That one
Yes.
is always
always
packed.
full,
That
and
one
That's
is
people
good.
are rushing
That
to
one is
enter
always
and even come down.
That's good.
Why have you not entered the
Sounds
blue
always
line?
fun.
Why have you not had the experience? Try it and see.
No, I if to enter the blue line is to like research to like, okay, this is what it looks like. I mean, I've seen videos, I've watched all the videos and watched all the commentary on it. Again, I feel that having real transportation as an option in Lagos, and I really like the fact that she brought that part up, which is so most likely the parts that I saw it moving might not be the heavy traffic areas.
Areas.
Yes.
So yes, let's acknowledge that. At the same time, I want to see the entire state connected, right? It cannot just be 16 kilometers
yes.
of rail,
Yeah, can I just-
and it's
Mhm.
taking 16 years.
Yeah.
Like people are achieving this kind of
It's like
thing in
1
4
kilometer per
years,
year.
in 5 years. Do you understand? In 4 years, in 5 years, and creating an entire train network across the state, which would then allow for more affordable housing, because people will now be able to live in further places away from Lagos Central, and they know they just hop on the train and they get close to work, right? So people will be able to move much further out of this center,
Yeah.
and it decentralizes Lagos. But for me, it's not the blue line, the red line, the green line, the orange line. These are good ideas.
Yeah.
It's a total of about 160 to 100 and actually more than that. The number, I'm not sure about number, so I'm not going to say number. Well, it's their own plan,
Yeah.
but it's taking so long to do it. And the means by which they want to implement this project clearly has failed, because if it's taking 16 years to do this, that's a failure as far as I'm concerned. So they need to rework that idea, the model by which they want to do it, the means by which they want to do it. If they're saying Lagos State has to pay this huge amount, maybe you need to partner with the private sector, right? Maybe you need to look at other ways to achieve this, because for the fact that so many people are in Lagos, as long as the price is affordable, right, it's going to be feasible. Right, there might be places where they don't have high traffic, but you've also just talked about places where they have high traffic as well. So overall, I'm sure it's going to balance itself out. Another thing is to start exploring, dry movement of cargo, right, in Lagos State as well. So that will also reduce the amount of trucks we have on the road.
True.
So there are a number of things that need to be done in that space.
What if Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu should offer you an appointment? Will you take it?
Why do you think that has not happened?
Has he offered you an appointment?
Listen, the reason why I will never join the APC, and I say this,
not join the APC, maybe Minister of Works or something.
Minister of Works, you're saying the APC now.
What if an appointment can?
You're in the APC
because you work for them.
You work for them.
You work with them.
You work for them because
So
you
you
cannot
will never
come out.
take
You
it.
cannot come out and criticize the president.
You can just do your job. If you do your job properly.
Oh boy, this is lying to yourself. It's like you are lying to yourself. I don't lie to myself. The reason why you see, I ran for local government chairman under the Core Party, and then I recognized the need for structure. I ran under Senate under the PDP. I ran for Senate Lagos West. After that, I built myself up to run for governor in PDP. That did not quite work out. I joined the Labour Party. At no point will you see me ACN or AP. No. Why? I fundamentally disagree with the way they manage the Commonwealth of Lagos. I feel that the Commonwealth of Lagos can manage in such a much better way for the benefit of Lagosians. And in joining the APC, I'm only just strengthening the hegemony and state capture that system has put over Lagosians, right? And when you look at the example that that Laji Jakonde set for what can actually be done in a state like Lagos, they fall very far below expectations, and it just does not make any sense to me. For me, the reason why I'm in politics is real to bring transformative change, not just pictures, and some people are benefiting or some people are, but a change that is felt all across the state. Like, for instance, you can look at a nice road that has been done, then you just turn left and go into the inner road and it's complete mess.
You're going too far. A nice road has been done. Just drive further. You will see that.
There is that.
Halfway,
There is
they
that.
stopped.
You are looking at a situation where the government is taking so much money for your building applications, for your development and everything. Rain falls, the whole place is flooded. It's like you're nowhere in the ark, or you didn't get the call that Noah said you should come and board the ark. You understand? It's those kind of realities. Now, what are these problems and how can they be solved? We cannot just say, oh, it's always the people. The Lagosians are bad. Lagosians are bad. If somebody comes and says Lagos is smelling, Lagos is smelling. Maybe there are parts of Lagos
is
of
smelling.
course, Lagos is smelling. There are parts of Lagos that might not be smelling, right? But Lagos is smelling. There are parts of Lagos where you go by the water stinks.
Yeah.
And then there are parts of the water that smell good. But you should not be getting offended when somebody tells you their experience. Nobody wants to just wake up and be smelling a nasty smell. The question should be, okay, how can we address this? And there are so many ways to address this. I put out a whole statement on this. From as little, and it's not solely tied to just Lagos. Now, even if you just want to look at our waterways, places like Boston, Charles River, they used to put sewage in there for the longest time. So it stank. Then the government came in and said, you know what? We want this to be like a tourist space. We want people to be able to walk back and forth in summer next to the river. And they started taking steps to clean the water. Even just introducing bottom feeders like mollusks, like clams, like all these seafood, shrimp and everything. It helps start to clean the water, right? Little detail like that. And then obviously stopping defecation going to the water and everything. And over a period of 20, 30 years, you now can go sailing on the Charles, right? So it's about that intentionality.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel that's what's missing.
Quickly before.
Let me just throw this one and I go.
All right.
So somebody, I was talking to somebody.
What? You won't go.
I will.
There's so much to talk about.
I know Lagos is very. I wish we could do this all day, but see, I was talking to somebody, and this was when you were contesting the last time, and the guy said, "See, I like this guy. He's young. To be honest, your advert was, it stood out. I like the
Full
I say you
destiny.
already won.
You're ready to get dirty.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I like the whole thing, and it was very. That was when a lot of people got to know you and they loved you and everything.
Yeah.
But the guy said, this guy is a young guy. This was what he said. This guy is a young guy. The money that Lagos generates in a month, this guy it will make him go mad. That's what he said to me.
And he was referring to you.
And he was referring to you, that it will make you go mad. That if you see all this, say money for paper different from money where they say a day. Do you understand? That's number one. Then number two question. Recently, the Lagos State government renamed some streets.
Don't say it's changed. Let's go. Charlie Boy is now. I stayed there. So Charlie Boy is now Gbadebo bus stop.
And it's not just that.
It's Bado. It's
Okay,
Bado.
Gbadebo bus stop.
Bariga Way is now Bola Ahmed Tinubu Way. Yeah,
Okay.
so
And
it's
aside
my area that they changed.
Jeremy Felodun as well. A lot of streets.
Jeremy
Jeremy
Okay,
Felodun.
okay.
Like that's Ajegunle side.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
They've changed over 15 streets, like that had other names that were not Lagos or Yoruba names, and they've changed them now to Yoruba names. That's aiding your question. Proceed, sir.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Number one, the money that Lagos generates in a month, will it make you?
Go mad.
Go mad. That's the question, sir.
You know what will make me go mad?
Hmm.
Losing the legacy that has been handed to me by my ancestors.
Hmm.
That is so much more valuable to me. The idea that I'm going to stay in a name that has come down over 300 years, 400 years in active service, making history, that's something I cannot live with. I remember I saw, I think it was on the front of the West African Pilot, where an ancestor of mine who was a Supreme Court justice at the time, he took someone to court for bribing him.
Whoa.
Yeah, Stephen Bankole Rhodes. As a judge, you came to bribe him and he took you to court for trying to bribe him. Now, I'm proud of that. You understand? What's the point of, you see, the problem, and this is another thing, and I just got it. This is the problem. We elect leaders that no longer have shame. We elect leaders that no longer have shame. Shame. Shame, you lose shame over a period of time. Like when you do something the first time, it's like the ground should open.
Yeah.
Yes.
Then after you're like, oh,
Nothing happened.
Nothing
I got
happened.
it.
It's not that bad. It's not that
Yeah.
deep.
then you do again, you feel small shame.
Yeah.
By the third, fourth, fifth time, I beg,
Be
let them
shameless.
talk. Let them say.
Yeah.
That's what you be saying.
And you start acquiring lands for your children
You see?
and asking us what we'll do about it.
Exactly. And that is a very big problem. It's a big problem. People need, because there's only so much that the police can do when you have not built the police up. There's only so much EFCC can do when you have a governor or president that says, come to our party and your sins are forgiven.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the way Ayodele Fayoshe's case has just hung. And now it has completely been done away with because they say that the prosecutor, did not do what they were supposed to do. So the case has been thrown out. And I can say many. Look at Yaya Bello.
Yeah, I was thinking of him.
There's so many. So even what is the if you are looking at it based on just society appreciating you, what is the value of being good? When you see all of these people, and they are setting a very bad example or precedent for people that are coming after them. So there must be something else that you value bigger than money. There must be something else. I think that a lot of this accumulation, I saw a video of Yaya Bello in Kogi, coming to Kogi, and I saw the car, and they wrote the name. I had to Google the name to know what it is. I'm not poor.
You're
But
not poor.
I'm not poor.
Yeah.
But that car is another. I don't know that car. I have to go and look at that.
And this is somebody the EFCC declared
Do
wanted.
you understand? Now, okay, EFCC declared you wanted. You have finished your 8 years. There are many other cars. I know cars.
Yeah.
There are many Jeeps. They can't get a Maybach Mercedes. You went to go and get the prime of the prime of the prime Jeep. Meanwhile, your people are suffering. Your people are poor.
Their roads are terrible.
I know Kogi well, and I'm talking about this because I know Kogi well. I used to do cashew. I used to export cashew. So I had my factory in Ida. I used to go to Aingba. I spent time there traveling by road. So I know the poverty in Kogi, right? And this is the car you go and buy. So you start to look and see that either one, these people are just seeing money. So there's a hole that needs to be filled. You know, when they say you are seeing money and the money has rested, like the pepper don't rest, it's like you are no longer excitable. When they talk new money, old money, we always look at the surface of it. We don't really look at the deep thing of it. It's human nature. You just got money now. So you want to, all those things you wish you had, you're going to buy it. You'll shock you, you're going to buy it. Then after you buy it, you now realize that you've bought everything on your list, so there's nothing left to buy. And okay, so now you either choose whether you're going to look out for your interest or you're going to look out for people to make the lives of people better. And on this road brings a lot more fulfillment because you make impact. When you look at there's a pyramid theory of needs and then fulfillment and all that. So people that go into that field, go on that path, they fulfilled lives.
Yeah.
I say all of this to say that the main problem is not the money, is the greed in the human being, right? If you're a content person and you have 2 houses, why do you need to own the whole of Lagos? If you're a content person and you have 4 cars, 5 cars, why do you need to own 20 cars? Why? You know, you want to live in Ikoyi, okay, get a place in Ikoyi. You know, get a nice house. You don't need 10. Right? At the end of the day, you're not going to die with this thing. And also, what example are you setting for your children? That they should be thieves? You understand? That greed. Because I feel that a point should come where you are not moved by survival anymore or accumulation. You are moved by love. You are moved by impact. Right? And that is what and then when you are moved by love, you are moved by impact, you are then moved ultimately by legacy.
True.
They're moved by legacy. And legacy is, I remember the most recent one that I saw was when people were looking at Buhari and like, oh, Buhari has come. I don't really like Buhari. Then they now brought to Sibaju. And people were like, oh, I like this Sibaju. He seems smart. He seems this. And he's married to Awolowo's granddaughter. Yoruba people took that thing very seriously. They felt like there was a part of Awolowo that was now attached to this government. That's his legacy.
Yeah.
And why do you have that legacy? Because you have made positive impact on people. And it's not just, in the air. People that would not have been educated were educated. People that came from poverty, government created a pathway to come out of poverty. That's why this man is celebrated today. Unlike in Nigeria today, where people are being impoverished, people that were middle class 6-7 years ago, they are now poor. When I'm saying that you make 6 million, you're part of the 1% of society. Right? It's not that the money is a lot of money. Like you said, how much is a bag of rice now? If you have 500,000 now, you buy a bag of rice. And you're a father with 2 children.
And rice is the food we eat like every day.
Understand?
In Lagos.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
So making impact, legacy. I don't want a situation where I have something that's more valuable to me than money.
Okay.
So that's my answer to that. Your second question was about the renaming of streets and everything.
Charlie Boy to Bado bus stop.
You see, the APC has a fundamental problem of big manism. They lack empathy, and that came out very clearly during EndSARS. It came out again very clearly during the last elections for governorship in Lagos State, where they concocted violence and executed violence. So these are not empathetic people. But more than any of that, it's about distraction. They want us to talk about a tribal, ethnic division that does not really exist, but they heat it up. The politics heats it up, so it actually starts to potentially exist if it is not corrected. But all that is a deflection and distraction from the misrule and misgovernance. So instead of us to focus on things like who gave the order for EndSARS, the reports that came out of it, the looting that is going on, where we are looking at monies, they say that they spent almost 20-something billion buying fans and fragrance. Then they now later came out say it was million. Even the numbers now, I don't. They said it was a typo. They don't want us to have those kind of conversations. They don't want us to x-ray how they are spending our commonwealth. So instead of watching us talk about the issues that Lagos is surrounded by water, but people don't have water, right? The situation with our healthcare, situation with our education system, situation with accommodation, situation of rent, they want us to be talking about tribe.
But I think right now it has gotten to the stage where we are actually talking about tribe, because aside the APC, we have regular people. We have
Sarah.
people we consider
No.
friends.
Sarah.
Wait, hold on, let me finish. We have people we consider friends who are supporting these things, and they're saying, oh, of course, it comes from the place where people who are not Lagosians will boldly come out and declare that Lagos is no man's land. And it has gotten to the place where it has, I think that, like you said, it's a distraction for people to start talking about it. But the problem is people are now talking about it, and we're seeing it in our day-to-day living.
Yes.
People
So-
are boldly supporting these
I heard
things.
this thing started from Anambra actually. This
How?
renaming
So-
of streets.
Okay,
I
I
saw it
don't,
on-
I
I
don't,
saw it
I
on
don't, I
Twitter.
don't know.
Sorry, it's going to be very weird for you to find a Yoruba name in Anambra.
So using this example
Exactly.
is why
Using this
people are
example is why
saying
they are
that
saying
it should be
also-
done in
But
Lagos, as
Lagos,
well.
Lagos
But
is
there's Wole
not
Soyinka.
a tribal
But
place.
it is.
No, it's not, because Lagos is a metropolitan city. You have every tribe coming here.
So you agree
Everybody
that Lagos is no
doing-
man? You are saying
Is it
Lagos
Lagos
is
is no man, because you are a metropolitan city.
Okay.
is a no man's land?
Yes, because
So you
excuse
are
me, you have
from-
Yeah, I set a
businesses.
trap for you and you're falling for it.
I'm being serious, because you do
Okay, so
businesses.
let me come in here. Let me come here. It's a very big insult to say Lagos is no man's land.
Exactly. 'cause
Let me
people
tell
are
you
from
why. Let me tell you
Lagos.
why. Let me tell you why.
Exactly.
And also, and it's good you talked about this, because we'll now bring it into something else. You see, there were people in Lagos that created this environment for Lagos to exist.
True.
In the sense of there was a thinking. There was a type of people that were here that allowed for people to feel comfortable coming here and settling and doing their business. That type of thinking is not all over the Southwest.
It's not.
It's not all over
It's
the
not all over
Southeast.
Nigeria.
That is what makes Lagos peculiar. That is why Lagos is the economic hub, because everybody feels safe. Aliko Dangote's house is here. His headquarters for the longest time is in Lagos. Then, if you look at the top 100 richest people in Nigeria, they have something going on in Lagos.
Absolutely.
Why is that? It's not just because Lagos has water. Part of Ogun has water.
Mhm.
Part of Ondo has water.
Osun State has
Osun's part of it. They could have. It is the quality. It is the type of people. I give you an example. The history of Lagos says that they are landowners, the descendants of Olofin. But then the ruling class are Benin, which gave the name Eko. Now, the Benin and Olofin could have just been fighting to the finish and conquer. But they came to an agreement. You, Benin, you are the ruling class. You handle all of that at that ruling class level. But the land stays with us. We own the land and we all meet in council. That was a very, it might be small to you, but when you think about all the steps that had to happen for that to happen, it says a lot about the quality of the thinking
They had.
of the Lagosian.
Yeah.
Now, the scene of Lagos was in the slave trade, where there were facilitators for the kidnapping and human trafficking of human beings all over the world. When that was corrected, and people won their freedom, bought their freedom, started coming back, they came back, right? That same kingship, that same landowner said, you are our own. Use this land, take this land and settle there. Now, what benefit did that bring? These people that came back were people that came back with a lot of wealth, came back with a lot of skills in terms of building houses, came back with a lot of knowledge. So that Victorian Lagos was powered by them. So there was a lot of wealth that also came into Lagos as well as a result of that. So you first have a situation with the Benin, that Lagos was now the sea-facing face of the Benin Empire. And at the time, the Benin Empire was a solid
Huge one.
empire. It was it was magnificent.
Yeah.
And then you now had the benefits, at least to the ruling class, of dealing with the Europeans, the Portuguese, the Germans, with the whole slave trade and the trade that happened there. They now had the benefit of the Saro people coming in. Then after that, Lagos State existed as a protectorate before any state in the Southwest. It's a fact.
True.
Look at the numbers. So these people now came in, the British came in, or whoever, all the other Europeans came in and also started doing business and doing trade here. So, and then after that, it then became the capital of the colonial government, and then became capital of the country, and now is the economic capital of Nigeria. But that does not mean Lagos has a very rich history, indigent, that feel sidelined, that feel that we don't have a right over our government, that feel that we are not at the helm of affairs, that feel that we are being colonized. That is why when Lagos State became part of the Western region, there was a whole fight by a huge amount of Lagosians and the king as well to get Lagos State to become independent again under Mbolaji Johnson. And Lagos State, we got our own state. And afterwards, we got back the entirety of the protectorate that it was before. And to even do that, the Lagosians were willing to give up their interest in the Western region business outfit. It will come to me. There's an association of businesses where all the states have a state. Wema Board, that Western region business, they gave up all their interest. And a lot of those interests were actually on Lagos land. But they gave up all those interests, say that it's more important for us to be an independent state, as we were, than to have this interest. That's how serious they took it. So Lagos is not a no man's land. There is a very rich, vibrant history of Lagosians here. At the same time, Lagos is extremely peculiar in its welcoming nature of people.
And people are taking advantage of that. That's why we have this Igbo girl boldly saying that it's in no man's land.
Sorry, no, Sarah, my issue is you
Wait,
are
wait.
benefiting from it. So why do you now feel the need to chase these people away? If you are not benefiting, I agree.
So they will
but
chase-
the benefit, you are benefiting from it. This is action and consequences.
maybe-
live with it.
Exactly.
This is
So
my
maybe,
issue.
maybe what they are saying now is that they don't want to benefit again. Go home.
And
Can you
everybody,
beat them?
let
for that?
everybody carry
you
their
see- you
property,
see
they
the
go
issue.
back
You
there.
see
You will see that they will be the one to ask
there's a
for
big,
it
you see,
back.
there's a big issue. There's a big issue here, and I'm actually very glad for this conversation. You see, sometimes you might not feel a certain way about something, but because some people have orchestrated a narrative to be on that table, all of a sudden you start delving into something. You start thinking a certain way, right? The Lagosian, the typical Lagosian, does not have problem with any tribe. The real Lagosian, because you see, Lagosians have been dealing with the outside world since the 1700s.
The longest.
They've been dealing with the Portuguese, dealing with the Germans. They have family that my great-great-grandfather's brother was in Oxford in 1880. So this is somebody that was in England and then coming back. Is he going to be fighting tribe?
No.
Like, you see, the tribal thing is an insular thing. Like, there's an exposure. See, if everybody that's shouting this tribe thing were to be in England today, all of us are in England today, and police are trying to do something negative to all of us, you see, it make all of us are Nigerian.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nobody's talking about tribe again.
Yeah.
Nobody's saying you're Bible. Everybody's Nigerian. Because you have been exposed to something bigger than your identity.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the people of Lagos, the thing that molded that thinking was they were exposed to something bigger than their identity.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't see it the way somebody in a hinterland that has not had that exposure sees it. And that is what created this identity. But now, in that situation, because of politics, because of the capacity of non-indigens or non-Yoruba speaking people, because even a lot of Yoruba people in Lagos are not the indigens of Lagos.
Yeah.
There's also
Right?
that.
There is that fact, and
Mhm.
they feel marginalized. They feel that there's no space for them, and they cannot go to their brother states. They cannot go to Ibadan. They cannot go to Ogbomoso and run for office.
True.
They cannot a Darocha or a Anima Shaon cannot go to Oyo and say he wants to run for governor. They will tell him to point to where his father's house is. But we are all Yoruba, right? So there's that conversation of the sideline of the indigenes of Lagos. There's also the conversation about the fact that the politics is trying to just divide and rule. And unfortunately, because we don't see it that way as a strategy, we keep falling for that same trap. The typical Lagosian is intermarried. When you go and look at their family line, they're intermarried. A typical Lagosian, part of his family is Christian, part of his family is Muslim.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are welcoming and you're interacting with so many different people. Okay, look at all the people that were kidnapped and trafficked. And then, let's say the British ship caught that ship, so they never made it to Brazil and turned it to Sierra Leone. Right? Now, in that place, they are meeting all different groups of people. They are interacting. They've met an identity that's bigger than the identity that they had. And they are coming together. Are those people going to come back and be doing tribal?
Nope.
Oh, yeah, this, yeah, that. No. You know, so if Nigeria has actually fought a proper war, not civil war against themselves, fought a war against another people,
country.
that is what will make us Nigerian.
Yeah.
Because we've not yet we've not yet had that experience, we are still doing all of this. But we must be very, very careful not to fall for this distraction that they want to put on the table. Because what happens, everybody goes into their ego.
Yeah.
The Igbo man will say, I've contributed to this place. I'm buying buildings. I'm doing a lot of development. I'm bringing businesses. Lagos is benefiting of my taxes that I'm paying.
Yeah.
So I have a right to talk. The Yoruba man is going to say, Lagos is Yoruba land. It's part of the Southwest. I have a right to talk. And I should be determining the things that are going on here. The indigenous of Lagos is going to say, but wait, both of you,
Hello.
this is my home. I should be the one producing the governor. I should be the one producing the speaker. I should be the one controlling this government. We have 5 kings. Ibile. We have 5 kings. Badagry, Ikorodu, Lagos Island, Ekpe. There's one other one.
Elegushi.
No.
Ikorodu.
Ikorodu. We have 5 kings that have history. They didn't just come up out of nowhere. They are not ballets. So we have rich history. Rich history that was even like world history. Right?
Yeah.
And this must be recognized. And respect must be given to that. Right? And respect must be given an appreciation for the hospitality of a host. Right? It must be given. But at the same time, I also have to differentiate it from the people that are demanding for it, because they played no play in this hospitality, this culture that has been created.
Actually.
Right? They did not play anything in it. They are now coming to say, oh, because of this, you are disrespecting.
Yeah.
But
If
every
anything, they
party,
benefited
see,
off of it.
the thing that makes Lagos special is everybody coming together and respecting themselves and living in harmony and transacting. Lagos is about business. Lagos has always been about business. That's why money has always flowed in Lagos. Money has always flowed in Lagos. Money in Lagos is nothing new. But we have to constantly avoid, we have to be sensitive. We have to be very sensitive. And historically, no Igbo man comes out saying Lagos is no man's land. All these things started with politics. In fact, when you look at the publication, Bolaji Johnson, he was saying Lagos is no man's land. Lagos has its history. So Lagos deserves to be an independent state Lagos was never conquered by any of the southwestern states. So there's no antecedent or history for it to be under this rule. That's what they were pushing. That's what he was pushing. And that's why they pushed for Lagos to be independent, the way it was when it was a protectorate.
Yeah.
Right? But at the same time, we must all understand that the game that they are playing is divide and rule.
Sure.
And the more we are squibbling amongst ourselves, the more they can get away with all the crimes that they are getting away with. And guess what? After the election, the suffering belongs to all of us. So
True.
Now's the carrier.
the suffering belongs to all of us. There's a very interesting story, and that's where I'll end. It was in Ifakojai. There's an Igbo lady that sells rice and food. And it's in an estate. So normally towards the end of the month, people have run out of money, right? So this man has been there for years, almost over 10 years. And she knows everybody in the community. So they come and they get credit from her to eat and everything. So they eat and everything. And this has been going on for years. When they get paid, they pay her money. Now, mainly Yoruba dominated area. So when it was time for election, these same people that she had been interacting with like that turned on her. I'm like, you are not here. You don't belong here. Mama, this, you should not be here. You don't wait if you vote. They really turned on her. And she was brought down to tears and was crying. I was thinking like, but these are my people. Like when you don't have money to feed your children, you come to me for cry and I give you. You're my people. So because of politics and politicians, this relationship has now been destroyed. Election finished now. The first month they had shame, so they didn't go to her. The second month they went to her for. He said, no credit today, no credit today. You have shown me that I don't belong with you. I treated you like family. You have shown me that we are not family, so I cannot do that anymore. When you have money, come and buy. Now, the people that you were doing all that for, their child is on a board of a coastal company that got trillions to build a road that did not go through any tender or any bidding process. They are traveling up and down the world in private jets. You are still looking for credit to eat rice and beans. And you are destroying relationships, perfectly good relationships that existed before that. So the reality is that we can all strengthen our union.
Absolutely.
Because that's what Lagos is about. Lagos is a microcosm of Nigeria. It is what it is, and that's what makes it special.
Yeah.
All these people that are talking all these things, they should go and recreate Lagos in their own states now. They should go and recreate Lagos in their own states.
It would be nice for Lagos to be recreated in other states.
Honestly.
For Nigeria to move
It would be
forward.
nice. It would be nice, but the thinking that produced, and this is why I say it, that's why I tell you they are indigenes of Lagos. The thinking that produced Lagos does not exist in a lot of other states.
Facts.
True.
That is why Lagos is peculiar, and Lagos must be seen as that. And the reason why indigenes are coming out to be complaining now about the lack of representation is that they are seeing a situation where all those values are being eroded. I know how many messages I got today on top of this name changing thing, right?
On top of this Charlie Boy to Bado.
Yeah, because it's not us. It's not us. You have roads that are named after Ozumba and Badue.
Yeah.
Because at a point in time, politics in Nigeria was based in Lagos, and these were people that were making impact, right? Now you have Governor Cameron Road after Glover has been changed to Wale Edun Road. Wale Edun is from Ogun State.
So what are we doing then?
Cameron was a governor of Lagos. This is part of our history. Whether you like it or not, it's part of our history.
True.
These governors, Glover, all of them, go and look at the things they did in Lagos State, where you now talk about colonialism and everything. They brought development to Lagos. It cannot be, their impact on Lagos cannot be
Denied.
rubbish or thrown away, right? So let us not fall for these distractions. All these things are distractions, so we talk about it and we don't talk about the main issues. What are the main issues? Our people need affordable housing. Our people need to open tap and have clean water. Our children need to be able to go to the quality of public schools that all of them went to.
Yes.
Because none of them can send their children to the public school that they went to, and those children get the quality education that they got in their time.
Have you guys realized that even public universities, which was kind of normal in our time, right now, if you want your kids to have quality education, they go to private universities. Unlike what it used to be.
Did you know?
back
Did
then.
you know there was a time in this country, in my father's generation, where you only go outside of Nigeria to university because you cannot get into a Nigerian university.
Can you imagine?
Like you failed, you could not get into a Nigerian university, so the other option was for you to go to university
Are
abroad.
you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. And now people are selling their
Yeah.
investments to send their kids
Yeah,
abroad.
that is the
That's
country
crazy.
and you know, I look at it and it makes me sad, but also makes me happy because it means that we are not cursed. It means that we are not dumb. It means that we can do it.
Yeah.
We just need the right set of leaders with the right value systems and the right vision. You see, Emi Lokon is a vision for myself,
Yeah.
right? We need a vision for Nigerians.
For us.
For us. We need a leader that's looking out for us, our vision, so that you see that, okay, if I'm removing subsidy from petrol, right, you also see that my expenses is coming down.
Yeah.
Like, I'm feeling it. You're like, this president is not spending the way the former president used to spend. But go and look at the budget for a chief of staff of the president and compare it to the former chief of staff.
On that note, guys.
Before we go, I'm sorry. Final one. This is where I think we should wrap it up on. You mentioned something earlier about how you gave the example of Awolowo on how Osinbajo married his granddaughter and whatnot, and Yoruba people took it personal because that is part of what they do. In Lagos, it's already been established there that somebody's building an empire. But at the same time, I have seen people boldly come out and declare that they are somebody in life because of this same individual.
Yes.
There are so many people
So many.
around Lagos who would come out to say that I made it, I became something because of Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Yeah.
That means that this man has actually impacted lives all around Lagos.
Okay.
How then do you intend to be able to come into this system that, whether we like it or not, has been built solidly in Lagos, at least for the past 10 years?
That's a very easy answer. That's a very easy question to answer, because it's been built for the interest of one man, not the interest of the people.
But
So when I
already see
speak,
their interest
no,
in
no,
this
no, no, no,
man.
no, a few people, not the mother that cannot send her kids to school, not the father that took his child to hospital and oxygen finished and his child died. Not the woman that is delivering a child and NEPA took light in a state hospital and they have to use their phone as torch to do the operation, right? Like, I know how many people that I know that were young that have died since I got into politics, because then in politics it exposes you to things you not normally be exposed to.
True.
People are dying like rats.
Yeah.
People are dying from hunger. So those people, see, a politician must have a strong men that stand for him. That's what politics is. I told you, it's about balancing a lot of interests, so many different interests. You see somebody with me and be like, how did it do? It's politics. So you build people, but what are you building them for? It's for your interest to get to the position that Emilio can to manifest it. But if your interest is not going side by side with the interest of the people, that's where the problem stems from. There's nothing wrong with ambition, but your ambition must also be under the greatness of your people. Look at China. Look at the way the leaders of China move. This year alone, DeepSeek, they created an artificial sun. If you want to fight China today, they have weapons. They can go toe-to-toe with you. America tried to give them tariff. They twisted it around, showed you that, listen, all your Gucci, everything is us that's making it.
So
you
what
only
you want
just
to
make
say?
the label. Like, you see the quality of thinking. Like, these are solid people. You see, that's government that gives me joy. There are people who look to their leaders and say, we are in good hands.
Yeah.
Right? And we can be that. It's just the quality of mind. How can could we have been so abused that somebody will come with a result that was so poor that if you had a company, you will never employ that person into your company to work for you? And our response was that even if you bring NEPA bill, we are voting for him. That's the level of propaganda. I don't know. I don't want to go spiritual, but there must have been something there as well. But the point is, it should no longer be okay that a person is faking their certificate, or a person does not have certificate, or we cannot see where the person went to school, the person does not have classmates. Nigeria is a very complicated country. You need bright thinking, intelligent people to lead, to run.
Yeah.
Go and look at the leaders that are presidents of America.
Uh-huh.
Harvard, Yale. They're brilliant people. Go and look at the people that are running China. Look at people that are running England, right? Instead, it's not the first class people that we are looking at to be running things. It's the people that were behind, that were not coming to school.
Yeah.
And somehow you think that your country is going to move far. Like, we are going to get what we deserve. So we need to have higher expectations of our leadership. And we also need to start understanding that we deserve more. I think Nigerians have just gotten used to the idea that suffering.
Peanuts. Well, okay with
Fela
peanuts.
said it in 1 year. People will be suffering and smiling, suffering and smiling since the 80s. And that's still our reality.
Yeah.
But thankfully, the generation that's coming, the EndSARS generation, I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you
And
so
by God's
much.
grace, we will see a better Nigeria in our lifetime.
This has been
Amen to
a
that.
very insightful conversation. I wish we had more time with you. But I think the take home for me is just Nigerians, we're blessed. And that's one thing I know. We're blessed. Is it this? We have it.
Yeah.
We have it. But it's just for us to literally leave my daily 2K and think of
Long term,
long term. That's it.
holistically, for the interest of the collective, not the individual.
That's it. On that note, guys, it has been a great episode. I hope you guys loved this one. And yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you to
For indulging us.
yeah.
Oh, you brought up some very interesting threads, and I hope that our propaganda people don't cut it and edit it and put something that was not to
Even
make
if
it.
they do, we're ready for them.
Good.
We're ready.
Yeah,
Well
we're ready
done.
for them.
All right,
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
you.
for having
Thank you.
me. It's a
Thank
real
you.
pleasure.